you've went back in the second time, but now you're kind of thinking more consciously about, right, I know what I want to do. I want to get this online coaching like popping, the more people who know about the fitness side of things. So is that something you've been conscious now the second time going in?
Well, I'm aware of it because every time we film something that goes on TV, a lot more eyes come on your socials. Mm-hmm. But the way I look at it now is my fitness is my full-time, and my Geordie show, my filming commitments, that's my bonus. That's like my holiday.
Yeah, it's a nice part-time gig though, isn't it?
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's literally like 3 weeks now, so we're allowed with phones now, so I can get on my laptop every day and just it flows now. They know that they can't film it unless we can incorporate with normal lives into it now.
Yeah.
So it moves with the times now.
You guys have all got businesses, you got more on. Back then you just had nothing on essentially.
We couldn't have anything else on because the show took all of the time.
How was the transition from going from what you said obviously was easy money, getting paid to party, into business for you?
When I had the gym, I found that hard. It was good. It was very rewarding because I had so many amazing clients that, like, every day were putting us in a good mood, and like I was having a good crack with them. And the actual gym atmosphere was really good. But then, like, starting a business from scratch, and then there was 3 partners. Like, the income, I don't think I took a wage from the gym in a year. So it was like from going from getting paid for doing now to not getting paid for doing loads. So it was completely different, but I always had the vision in my head and I always believed that it was going to work. And yes, the gym part didn't work for us because I didn't like the dynamic of it, so I pulled myself out of it. But like things I learned in there, like I've took away and I've put in everything else that I do now.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in just taking lessons from failures.
Oh, definitely, massively.
I think as well, like, people put a lot of emphasis on like having a physical presence with your business and having like an actual site, whereas with you, you've got more of a global audience, or at least like you've got people all over the country.
Oh, I've had clients in Brazil. I've got a couple at the minute. One's in Germany, a couple in Australia, and it's just like.
So you don't want to limit yourself geographically. Yeah. You'd rather just be a digital nomad and just be able to work from anywhere. And kind of put that effort into getting people all over the place, because you don't need people in Durham. You don't need people to live within a 30-mile radius to train with you. And I think that's the benefit of the online side of things.
Online coaching I've just been in Dubai, and everyone out there is an online coach because they've now got the freedom to work with people all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are, so you're not stuck in one place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The cost as well, like, I've got a gym, and the cost of the facility for there's times where it's, there's busier times and there's obviously the more dead times. And in them dead times, you're still paying
the same rates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you're online, if you go a little bit more quiet, you haven't got any. Yeah,
you've got to buy
costs.
Like if you want to set up a physical presence, you've got to buy kit. I mean, we both know what the outlay was for that gym over there.
Crazy,
eye-watering, really. And you're in a several £100,000 hole before you've even made a penny. And I think, realizing
pressure.
You've got to make a certain amount. Like when you're an online coach or when you're doing something online, take care of your overheads. Anything you make is profit. You could start making money from $1,500, whatever, per month. If you want to run a big facility or if you want to do something like that, you're looking at some people I know who've got gyms, businesses. They're 10, 15 grand in a hole before the month even starts, with wages, rates, rent.
I think the best way to go about that is obviously to try and utilize the space. When you've got that facility, you can be doing supplements, you can be doing different structures of memberships and stuff like that. But you mentioned before we started this podcast that you have different income streams for each client.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to just say a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so works. I've got the one-to-one coaching, but then what I found was I was getting hundreds of inquiries, but then some people were like, oh, I've got no money. And I was like, I felt like, I can't really offer you anything because I can't provide my full services and like all my attention for nothing, because it would be unfair on people paying and I've got bills myself to pay. And then I was like, what can I do to make to kind of, I'll have my premium service where I'm offering like a really good service for my clients, and then also like a lower service that is pretty much available for everybody. Yeah, and then they're still getting a lot of value from it, and it's not costing them money that they don't have. Yeah. So that's what I done, and then I found that obviously everyone I was speaking to, obviously I was trying to get one-to-one clients, but if I knew it was just not going to happen, then I would offer the lower one as well. And then
so you actually start at a higher rate and then sort of whittle it down. Yeah,
definitely.
So I always advise my PTs to start with a lower. Obviously, this is face to face. Start with the lower, then as they get more comfortable with them, then they build it up. Yeah. But it's interesting that it kind of works the opposite way in the online industry.
Yeah, I think people are getting more wise to online coaching now as well. Like, they know it's not a cheap service, and they know if they are paying a cheap service, they're not going to get any attention, and they're going to be checking in. They're not going to hear for 3 or 4 days, or in some cases I've heard like some people don't get any contact until the payment's due. So it's like, if you're paying a premium or you're paying a rate, then if you're getting that service, then it's worth it tenfold.
But I feel like that comes down to the people who are kind of saying, oh, there's a quick buck to be made with, I've got a bit of a following here, I'll set it up, I'll send some plans out, and that's it, I'll get paid. Whereas really with online coaching, people aren't paying for the information. The information's free, available all over the internet. You know, you can go to YouTube. Like, I still, to this day, there was a series Steve Cook did in like 2012.
Swole the Nation.
Yeah,
it's class.
I still use that. Where he does it on the campus.
Where
he does it on the school campus.
Started training, and I was like, he started making a comeback now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a legend. But if I get into a bit of a rut, I know that those 4 workouts, I just go back to them, and they were from his like college athlete days. So the information's out there. It's just people don't have the motivation. So what they're generally doing is they're outsourcing their motivation to the online coach. You're a motivated guy. You can keep an eye on what they're doing. You can give them good advice so that if they need to make minor tweaks here and there, you can actually give them that information so that they don't have to go out and find it themselves. But if you think that you're just setting up and sending someone a meal plan and that's £150 a month, it's the contact that people are paying for. 100%. It's the motivation. It's the being able to outsource the you being able to kind of keep them going. They outsource that level of can't even think of the word, accountability. So they outsource their accountability to you. So that's why when people are kind of setting up and they're trying to do a get a quick buck sort of thing, it doesn't work because people will figure them out straight away.
They're not interested. I've seen tons and tons of people around us try and do it, and then it's like, and I actually get a shock because I think, wow, they're bringing out fitness things that I didn't even know they liked to train. It's honestly, it's mad. But everything you said there, it's 100% what it is. Like, if I was looking for an online coach, it would be purely take the headache out of things that I didn't know and understand. Because one of the hardest things for people to do is actually go to the gym on their own and actually get a good workout. Because you'll see them time and time again. They just go on 5 or 6 different machines every single day. They're not progressing. They're not like recording anything. They don't really know what they're doing. They just think, well, I'll do that and then I'll do that. But if they go to the gym and they've got a full plan laid out for them, they know what day it is, they know what they've done last time they trained it, then they've got a goal to
everything's recorded.
To better.
I think as well though, and in that sense, knowledge is power. So obviously they're not paying for. Look, people look at a price of, I'm paying this amount and this is what I get. If you look at that as a fixed package, yes, but actually what they're paying for, and the reason it's that amount is your 10, 15, 20 years of experience.
Yeah. And the thing is, they'll take that on with them even after they stop the coaching. Like, I've got clients still, past clients who are still progressing and they'll update us and they'll be like, oh, just letting you know, like, I've lost another 5 kilos since I stopped training. I had one last night saying that. Yeah. And it's just like,
well, that's the sign of a good coach. Yeah. So if a good coach, a good trainer makes themselves progressively unnecessary. So if you train someone over a period, there should be a curve of information that you are becoming less necessary because you're teaching them what you know, and then you get them to a stage where they can do it themselves, and then you can start just checking in with them every so often and see how they're getting on. And I think that comes down to really caring about what you do, you know, trying to sell sell to people and keep them on packages that they don't need, that gets found out. Whereas if you've got this is why it's so important for online coaches and anybody who works in the fitness industry to have a product ecosystem. So you have a main offering and then products that come off of it. So for example, once you've got someone to a level, they might have trained with you for 6 months and they know they can drop down to the £20 a month one.
Yeah, exactly.
Opening up a space for somebody else to come in. But you haven't lost them as a person. They are a living, breathing, walking business card. Because when somebody sees them in 6 months and goes, wow, you've lost, 20 kilos, you look amazing, the first thing they're going to ask is, what did you do? And they're going to point them to you. And that's what people need to realize. The better job you do with someone, the more attention you put into them, they're a business card. Because the first thing people speak to people about is if they look drastically different, they'll just say, what have you been doing?
Have you done it?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to do it.
Exactly.
I've had so many through referrals that happens all the time.
Yeah. And that's how you do a good business, rather than
trying to keep someone going, minimal progress just to get the money. Or they're going to lose motivation that way as well.
Yeah. Or doing a few more thirst trap videos on your social media to get 10,000 more followers, knowing that you can convert 1% of them into leads, knowing that you can convert 1% of that into new clients. But then the funnel, people are dripping out of it everywhere because the service isn't very good, you're not paying attention, and there's no transformations. You'd be better off training 5 people for 5 months, getting 5 unreal transformations, because those 5 people will get you 5 people each. Now you've got 25 people who are all bought in, because if they've seen somebody else make a transformation, it's very real to them. You see a lot of these 100%. Fitness professionals, and all they're doing is posting like videos of them shredded in the gym, but they're never posting
people
anything
get bored
they've
of
been
that.
able to do.
They do. Like, I also think, because we were talking about like bodybuilding and stuff now, like I've seen coaches where they've put out like really valuable information and like transformations of clients and stuff, and then it's come down to them doing a competition, and then it's turned, the social media has turned into all about them and like bodybuilding and like tensing and that one. And I've just been like lost interest. So that's what people must do.